Hey guys, it's Chris Wong. I'm filming this video as of August 18th, 2025, and I'd like to talk about new changes I made to my portfolio and new thoughts I have with using my TFSA, RSP, and my margin account. So as a disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy interested in building a portfolio and trying to achieve financial independence, retire early. So in my previous videos, I talked about how I decide to add more funds to my Questrade account, even though I thought I was going to just put a stop to adding funds and just let the portfolio pay itself off, even though it was going to take at least 5 or 6 years for it to fully pay off, even with the margin interest, even though the margin interest was like 12% for the USD holdings. And then I decided to add more MST and decided to add more other ETFs like YSPY and TSYY, so that way I can get different dividend payout dates. So I believe Granite Shares Yield Boost generally pays out on Tuesdays, and I think MST usually pays out on Thursdays. So I try to take advantage of dips in the market or dips in MicroStrategy, so I try to average down MST. So this time I decided to buy the inverse ETFs, YQQQ and SPXU by ProShares, and this time decide to hold on to them no matter what happens in the market, with the exception that I may consider selling them in the future if there's a big market crash in the future and the stock market drops down more than 30 or 40%. If that's the right move, I don't know. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just doing what I think works well for me. Another thing I'm trying to do in my Questrade TFSA and Wealthsimple TFSA is I'm trying to add the 3 new Canadian ETFs by Hamilton. These are QDAY, SDAY, and CDAY. I'm more focused on QDAY and SDAY because they have higher dividend yields, and those two are based on the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ 100. So for me to get QDAY and SDAY, I actually decide to reduce my holdings of BCCL, which was a Bitcoin leverage ETF by Global X, and I also decide to reduce RSCL. So I have nothing against those funds. I just actually prefer to be more involved with the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ 100, and those 2 new ETFs have a higher dividend yield than RSCL and BCCL. BCCL, which is based on Bitcoin, I still don't have a good understanding of Bitcoin, so I actually was trying to reduce some Bitcoin exposure. I didn't really have a big holding in it, so I actually just decided to reduce it just so I can actually view my ETF. If it ever goes down, then I may consider just buying more in the future. So QDAY, I calculated the dividend yield was approximately 19% as of today's share price, but I calculated by taking the dividend yield it pays out every 2 weeks. I times it by 2 to give approximate 1 month payment, and I times it by 12 to give it the annual dividend, and it came out to around 19% for QDAY, and I believe it was 17.8% for SDAY. So the dividend yields end up being higher than BCCL and RSCL, so it was worth it for me to make this change. So one thing I tried today as an experiment, I'm not saying it's a good thing or a bad thing, it's just something I'm doing for myself to learn more about using margin. I actually withdrew $100 and transferred it to Wealthsimple TFSA to see what it'd be like to buy more ETFs tax-free. And then I also tried transferring a little bit of money to Questrade TFSA just so I can increase my buying power in my Questrade account. I actually realized too that I haven't contributed to my RRSP for the 2025 tax year, and I actually experimented with just transferring like $100 USD directly into Wealthsimple RSP from Wealthsimple margin account. In the future, I don't know when, I may consider opening a Wealthsimple FHSA account, and I may consider transferring money from Wealthsimple margin to fund the FHSA account, or just focus on transferring work money later in life to fund the FHSA. As of right now, I'm still trying to build up my TFSA, my margin account, and my RRSP, and I don't know my long-term goals for housing in the future. With these new ETFs, SDAY, QDAY, and CDAY, when the new dividends keep coming in every month or every couple of weeks, for my Canadian listed ETFs, I may consider putting more focus to these 3 ETFs, because I do like the high yields for a Canadian listed ETF. It pays every 2 weeks. I hope you guys liked the video. If you liked the video, please give me a thumbs up. Otherwise, please subscribe to my channel for future videos. Thank you guys for watching.